welcome to Lessons Learned. I'm Sherry, and this is Finish It Friday, and it would be June the 6th, I believe. Yes, I think it is June 6th, 2024, if that matters. We have a quilt show for you today. Not only will you see what I've finished, but what some of you have finished as well. So stay to the end and make sure you see the entire show and enjoy it. As I put in the beginning of the video there, you have a little clip of this quilt here that I finished. This is the Windmill Garden. This was a sew along on my channel a couple of years ago, and we did 9 blocks. I think some of you may have went ahead and done 12 blocks, but I assigned a color a week for each one of these. They were to be florals, and I did pink and blue and green and purple, yellow, all kinds of colors. After a while it becomes a little bit harder to pick colors because there's so much variety in color. There's not just, you know, 9 colors in the span of colors that there are on the color wheel, but we made it. We went with a plain background and some colorful windmills. At least that's what I call them, windmills. I'm not sure what the original name of it is. It might be something else, but we called this project Windmill Garden, and some of you have made this and showed your finished windmill gardens on Finishing Friday, but it's been a while. So I finally got this quilted up on my long arm, and I used, well, first of all, for the backing, I used a Moda fabric that I had, bright big floral that kind of goes with the theme of the front. And it's from, I have the selvage here, it's from Threads That Bind by Blackbird Designs, and it was made by Moda, put out by Moda. So I have my little selvage here that I'm going to save. The sun is so bright today. I didn't mention the weather when I first started here, but it is like 99% humidity, hence the curly hair today, and I've got it tied down so that it won't look too wild. Just a few minutes ago before I did that, you would have probably been scared when you turned this channel on. But anyway, I put that on the back and on the binding, and then also the pattern that I used is just simply called Wind, and it's just a really small burst of wind there. Hopefully you can see that. And I just repeated it kind of densely, and I liked how it turned out. When you're inside, it actually kind of has a sweater pattern to it because they're stacked up on top of each other, and that's the way this pattern is supposed to be, or this design is stacked on one on the other and not staggered. Otherwise this point would run into that point, I believe. I don't know if any of you have used that quilt design before on your Pro Stitcher Lite. Let me know if you can stagger that, but it did create a cool effect either way, so I'm satisfied with it. And I just used a kind of a grayish center in each one, kind of tried to make it look a little vintagey, and we used our scraps on this, so no new fabrics were purchased. I had this sky colored batik, and I thought that was appropriate for the background. So one more quilt in the books as completely done. I got a ton of submissions of photos in the email this week as I requested. You guys didn't disappoint. You sent quite a few. I'm not sure if I'm going to get through every single one, but I will try. We'll make the video a reasonable length. And if I don't get them all in, you'll be on there next week for sure. Okay, so let's see what we have here. All right, Becky is first. She had sent hers in first, so she's going to go first. And this is a really beautiful quilt. Lots of different color variation in it, and a very interesting border that just frames it out really well. She says, just got this back from the Longarmer. I think it's the biggest one I have made so far. I still have to get the binding put on. Fabric is Ancient Beauty by Robert Kaufman, and pattern is Yellow Brick Road. Very nice. I love how the fabrics coordinate. I would have thought maybe that was a scrappy one, but it is a fabric line called Ancient Beauty by Robert Kaufman. I like it. I really like it. Very good job. And those big quilts, oh goody goody, those big quilts, I love them. Pam has a small quilt here. She says she used a Hot Wheels layer cake and most of a black shirt. It is for my friend's grandson who was sick and on the mend, and the pattern is in the Perfect 10 book from Fat Quarter Shop. Very nice. He's going to love that in his recuperation. Lori, she says, here is my palette cleanser, as Sherry would say. I bought the plaid charm squares and my husband fell in love with them, so I bought more along with the black, and my hubby helped with it. He helped make the quilt sandwich. They used 3 tables in the garage, which would be the largest area to do it, and this was her first attempt at quilting with the cutie frame and the Jazz 2. It's supposed to be a simple meander, but I crossed several lines. The back is a disaster. I embroidered the label on my embroidery sheet. No, your back is not a disaster. Don't worry about it. A meander is a meander. There's no rhyme or reason to it. So if you crossed a few lines, don't worry about it. Don't worry about those quilt police out there. I love your guitar on your label there too. I've seen this fabric before, I think in one of the quilt shops in Louisville, and I really liked it, but I didn't purchase any at the time. It's really pretty. It reminds me of something in my childhood. I don't know what. Michelle has a couple of finishes here. She says, my 25-year-old jewel box UFO is finished. She is getting going on her UFOs. Now she says she only has one more of those that she has to hand sew the binding on. She says, I also finished my, wait a minute, let's talk about this black one with all the jewel tones on it. That's a very good name for it, jewel box. Love the jewel tone colors. And then the other one is her Pat Sloan toffee bars from March block a day, I believe it was. And the colors on the toffee bars don't show very well, but they are gorgeous teals, taupey gray, a dark blue, and white ticking stripe, and a soft green. It's quilted with a ginkgo leaf pattern I love. I haul my quilts back and forth from North Carolina to Columbus, Ohio for long arming, so they tend to get done in batches. Yeah, my Longarmer lady that I was using and still use on occasion, she's a little bit of a distance away from me, so you just have to do what you have to do, right? I really like your toffee bars because that fabric looks like knit. It looks like it's a knitted sweater. I would have almost thought this was an afghan of some kind that's crocheted or knitted. That's one of the best looking toffee bars I've seen. I really like it. Shelly has a paper piecing quilt that she just finished, and here it is here. It also looks like jewels, doesn't it? And then I asked her where she got the paper piecing pattern from, in case any of you wanted to know. And it's an Etsy shop called Leila Gardunia, L-E-I-L-A-G-A-R-D-U-N-I-A. Leila Gardunia. And that's a shop. She has several in there. It looks like she may have used, Shelly used a variety of her patterns in this quilt. I love it. That wouldn't be too hard either. If anybody's doubtful about paper piecing, foundation paper piecing, this might be one you could try. Sun-Dyed Carol, look what she has done. She says, I made 2 of these quilts for the fall. She didn't make one, she made 2. I will use them on my 2 couches so my dog doesn't destroy the couches. They measure 72 by 72. I quilted them in an all-over leaf pattern. I just loved your blue charity quilt. I had tons of batiks and fall colors, so I decided to duplicate your quilt. I really enjoy your videos. Thanks, Carol. Yeah, look, that's the blues batik there. She did it. That quilt turned out way better than I thought, that blues batik, and yours did turn out really well too. Dolores has a quilt as you go that she's been casually working on, but she's finally got it together. And it has muslin on the back, and it's made of 9.5-inch squares. And she used scrap pieces of muslin, batting, and fabric strips to make it. And you guys know how I feel about scrappy. I love the scrappy. This turned out great. 9-inch squares, that's 45 by 2, 4, 6, 7, 63. So a good throw size. And she didn't have to wear her arms out quilting that. She did it quilt as you go. I have a series on quilt as you go. If you want to know how to do that, go look for it if you haven't done it before. Kayleen has 2 finishes, I believe. No, she just has 1. The quilt top is a finish from 2 weeks ago that I didn't think about sending until it was too late. This was a 3-yard quilt pattern called Liberty that I enlarged. I really love how quick and easy these quilts go together, but they are just a bit too small for my liking. This one went from around 40 by 60 to 60 by 77. It's just a top so far, as I have no idea what I'll be backing it with. And then she also said she made a few burrito type pillowcase sets this week. Super simple, quick makes. Yes, I love your pillowcases. They're gorgeous. And your quilt too. I love the pinks and the greens together. Yeah, you can always take one of those 3-yard quilt patterns and enlarge it. Not too hard to do. Annie said she loves pre-cuts. She likes getting a little bit of everything. And she loves Pat Sloan's Oh My Stars. It's so fast and easy, and it's completely scrappy. Yes, I like your Oh My Stars too. She has 2 of them here. One is Aquaman and one is Batman. So she themed them out that way, and she used the bright orange and yellow stars, and I think that's good. That's like that POW in the comic, right? In the comic books. So that's really good. She says Batman and Aquaman have already been donated as flimsies to my local church group. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Wonder Woman yet. Tamara. She says, Sherry, this is my first quilt, a lap size. It's a Timeless Treasures Tonga Treats kit. Barcodes is the design. I made it in 2016, and it was quilted by Herding Cats Quilting using a meandering design. I used a neutral batik backing and a neon green striped binding. I'm always interested to see the backs of quilts. Thank you for your inspiration, knowledge, and she enjoys watching the channel, and she's also from nearby me, so it's always nice to hear local ones are watching the channel. I'm sorry for the shadow today. It's just a weird time of day. I can't seem to get the right time of day to make these videos outside, but I love to hear the birds and the goings on around the farms here. You probably are hearing some sort of mowing implement right now in the background. They've been baling hay, cutting hay, raking hay, baling hay, and the cows have been calling and the birds are chirping, and I just love to be outside. Alright, I think I'll stop there. I have a couple more left, but I'll save those for next week, and that way this video won't get too long for you. So have a great weekend and get back into your projects this weekend. Sew a little bit if you can. And I will see you back here on Monday Quilt Chat, but it will be on Tuesday of next week. So you will still get your Monday video, but on Tuesday. And then also Wednesday and Friday will be as normal. Alright, have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.